Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Sarge. Sarge is from California in the USA. So let's see what Sarge has to say. Enjoy the interview. I love your table. Wow.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had it made.
Oh my goodness. Look this weather behind you. Oh my goodness. Wow. So hello, Sarge. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, William. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Happy to be
So,
here. Thank you.
so, Sarge, tell me, how's your day going so far?
Going good. Thank you. Had a nice breakfast this morning and ready
Hmm,
to take on the day, as they say.
amazing. Do you consider yourself to be more of a day or a night person?
I think I'm more of a night person, though I love the sunshine and I love the beach. I tend to have trouble going to sleep, and I feel like I'm most awake at night. Yeah.
Tell me where you're from, Sarge.
I was born and raised in Southern California, just about half hour, 45 minutes away from LA and Hollywood.
I see. And you always been living in California.
Yes, except for a couple of years for work. Um, Back in about 2011, I lived in Princeton, New Jersey.
I see. And what do you do for work, for living?
I own a company, and it's recent. I just launched it in March. I've been in this industry for 17 years and worked my way up from its sales, its technology sales. And I started off back in 2007 going door to door selling and worked my way up to being VP and then senior vice president. And then recently I just decided to, I don't know, try to lead a sales team and make the money for me rather than for the big corporate. So I launched my own in March.
I see. So this year it has been very, let's say, interesting for you, very changing.
Yes, it has. It's I had owned a business in my 20s for about 10 years, so that's not entirely new, but yeah, it's the first year or two of a business is you're building it from scratch. It's a startup. There's a lot to do, and it feels like you're pushing a boulder uphill. But I do think it'll be worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think taking challenges in life. You know what I mean. You never know where it can get you. Get out of
Mhm.
your comfort zone and just can take you in beautiful places.
It was a tough decision to make because you're for the last 17 years I've worked for large publicly traded companies, and now I'm in competition with them. So yeah, there you go.
That's amazing. I love that. I think that's what makes life very interesting. When those opportunities came along, and you are literally, as you said, competing with people that I'm sure you made them, get to the place they are right now. So now it's your turn to embrace and get
Mhm.
yourself in a different level.
Somehow my 5 employees up against their 40,000 employees. we're gonna figure it out.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, Sarge. So before we start our journey within the magic box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself.
Something interesting about myself. Well, I would say I went to college and kind of grew up knowing my whole life I wanted to go into filmmaking and got a degree in filmmaking and ended up writing and directing the senior project at my college. It ended up winning about a dozen film festivals, and it was the first movie to be distributed actually from that college. And the lead
Wow.
was a deaf woman. I took like 1 year of sign language and managed to direct her in sign language because she's, deaf. And so the premise of the movie, it really was of interest for schools that were teaching interpreting or deaf studies. And so it was distributed thousands of copies to all of those types of schools.
Wow.
So that's from a long time ago. After that, I ended up going to get my first job out of college, and I worked at Central Casting and was a casting director. And I did that for a few years there, and then that's when I opened up my own casting company, which I owned and ran for 10 years.
Wow.
And then made a decision when I had kids that were young, and I didn't really think being on the set and being gone, every day, working a million hours and, on the set 17 hours or whatever, was really conducive to having kids and trying to be there and be home for dinner. So I ended up selling my company and decided to get a regular job to be home for my kids. And that's when I went into sales. And sales ended up, I don't know, I just had a knack for it, and it ended up being much more lucrative and it was more me, I guess, than working in Hollywood. I didn't actually really like being in Hollywood very much.
Wow. So you always, during that time, you're always behind the camera. You're never acting or exposing yourself, always behind.
Pretty much. There were a couple of things that I did, but no, I never became like a member of the Screen Actors Guild or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I preferred to be behind the camera. I used to do extra work starting in high school and a little bit into college, and then I didn't have time. Just to be on the set and kind of see how it all worked and try to network and meet people. So that was fun. And then when I was doing extra work, I ended up getting a couple of times where they gave me something to do or lines to say, and so I became eligible for that Screen Actors Guild card, but I never actually joined. It wasn't my thing.
My God, that's very interesting. I love the story that you having a business and suddenly you change your life for because of your kids, and now you're back again in a different opportunity, in a new challenge. I think it's just interesting, how life takes us in different paths, and we need to embrace and take it. Why not? If it's being presented for us somehow, if we can somehow connect with it, why not? You know what I mean? So that's very interesting.
Well, I encourage anyone out there, yes, I mean, to embrace and adapt as you need, and also just to take the initiative and try to think, how can I do this better and enjoy the freedom of being your own boss and making decisions? Because the challenge of working for big corporate is that there's so many people above you that make decisions that aren't really involved in what you do. So not to put them down, that's just how it needs to work, because there's so many people. So it would take a long time to get a decision made, or sometimes they would not agree with what your thoughts were, but they didn't really understand the context or really understand why it was better. And so it's nice just to be the person who makes the decision. Sink or swim, right?
Amazing. Sarge, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
Oh, sure. I'm always good for an adventure.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box.
All right.
I've got him a best. Full of random fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now, just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
All right, I'm gonna drink a little water because I got a little cough in my throat. So.
Let's do it. Okay, Sarge from California. Yes, you can always join me dancing as well through the questions. Before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, some reason you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
Right, first question for you is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Well, let's see. I want to skydive. I've been putting it off. I didn't want to do it when I had kids because I felt like, God, I'm their dad. That's not really good. But now I'm empty nest. I've grown up. So I feel like it's time to do it. And so that's number 1 on my bucket list. Number 2 is I'm a competitive poker player. And I really want to win a 6-figure win in a poker tournament, a recognized, poker tournament. I have won some 5-figure wins in poker tournaments, but I have yet to get a 6-figure win. So that's another bucket list goal for me. And let's see, traveling is really important. So trying to think, I just went on a honeymoon. We were in Europe for a whole month. So we kind of got a lot that was on my bucket list before. We got to see a lot of things that was on there, and going to Monaco and gambling at the Monte Carlo casino where James Bond gambles. That was on my bucket list, and I got to do that. Though I did not win, it was still fun.
You got experience.
Yeah. So I checked that one. Yeah.
But it's not every day that you play poker in Monaco, imagine.
No, it was amazing.
Which one do you think is going to happen first, the skydiving or the competition?
I think the skydiving would be first. There's no reason to not do it. And, with poker, I've been busy with my business. I haven't had much time to play. I think I need to get that business rolling more before I can really dive in and get serious again about the tournament. So I think that'll come second.
Amazing. Next question. Let's do it. Yes. Next question for you is, okay, what 3 things do you want to be remembered for?
Well, I think being a loyal and honest friend and parent. I'm very loyal to my people. Okay, so having heart and connecting people has always been important to me, and that is something I guess I'm kind of known for, even in the business world. I've had thousands of sales reps work under or with me, and I guess what I'm known for is really like connecting with them or with the customer. So making good connections and just being authentic, I guess. I tend to just say what I feel, and I don't know, I just can't help but just be honest and say what I feel, so people know where I stand. And I'm opinionated sometimes, so it's not always a good thing, but I guess that would be the other thing. I'm very what's the right word for it? I guess I speak my mind. So, I get things done. I don't like when people say no. So I will, push through, like get out of my way. Like if you can't do it, then if you're in my way, just get out of my way. So I'm known for that too. And then I guess lastly, I would say with my business, the real reason why I wanted to open my business was to create a place where salespeople could have a safe haven and not always feel like the rug is going to be pulled out from underneath them. Because in the sales world, or at least in the industry that I'm in, it's not uncommon for the companies to play with your commissions and suddenly pay you differently, or say you're not going to get paid on that, and just change your comp plan, like no problem. And it can really mess with your mind where you're always kind of afraid. And I wanted to provide a place where you weren't afraid. I wanted to provide a place that I wish I had these last 17 years. So I would like to have this legacy live on, even beyond me with my company. I'm not looking to just build it and sell it. I want to build it so it lives on. And that legacy is that you have a safe place to, not safe, but like a place where you feel comfortable and at ease to do your job and not feel threatened, and where you can achieve your dreams.
Let's see, what's your star sign on astrology?
Aries.
Wow, March?
Yes. Yep.
Amazing.
That's where the independence and fire, I think, comes from.
Yeah, I think that there's this business mind way of, you know what I mean, just moving forward. It's a very characteristic of Aries. Good.
What's yours?
Scorpio.
Oh, those are dangerous. Well,
Very
that's the rumor
intense,
anyway. I've got
very
some good friends that are Scorpio.
yeah, very intense, very sexual, very loyal as well. The downside of Scorpio, very how to say, just one the road when you are jealous, very jealous, like Scorpio.
Mm.
We have this tendency of controlling, relationship or friend. It's something that the older you get, of course, you work on it and you get
Mhm.
better, but still there. I think this sense of your, it keeps there. But yeah, it's Scorpio. My birthday was last weekend, actually. I just celebrated last
Oh,
weekend.
well,
So,
happy
yeah,
belated birthday.
thank you.
Mhm.
Next question. Right. So before the next question, as you know, you mentioned already about your wedding. You got married not long ago. So walk me through a little bit about the journey so far. How does it feel being married? And how did your paths cross?
I'll tell you, it's a little bit of a story because, yeah, I was with my wife since I was 19. And
Wow.
so 31 years, and we had two kids, and we raised them. And um, I didn't have any plans to not be married. I thought that was my life choice. And some things happened where I had two daughters, but one of my daughters came out as trans. And anyway, got divorced. And my son, who's 15, is now 19, but he came to live with me, and he did get the ability to take testosterone and transition and get top surgery and all of that. He's super happy now, and he's was my best man in my wedding, actually. And
Beautiful. Beautiful.
yeah, and he's really an inspiration for me because he actually inspired me to come out. And so I married a man. And I told my kids a couple of years ago, because I've only been out for 2.5 years, I told them like 2.5 years ago that I was going to, start dating men. And my son was so sweet. He like grabbed my arm and he's like, "I'm so proud of you." And
Oh,
my daughter was in the back seat of the car or the truck. I looked back at her and I said, "What do you think?" She pulled out her iPad or iPhone. She's like, "What? What did you say?" And then my son's like, "Dad's gay," and she's like, "What?" Like she didn't hear me come out. She did, so I had to come out again to her, and it was a little bit more of a shock for her, I think, being a daddy's girl, and but they both supported me. My family supported me, and pretty much I can't really think of anyone who didn't support me on that.
beautiful.
Um,
Beautiful. Oh my God, what a beautiful story. Thanks for sharing, Sarge. I think it's, I can see how proud you talk about your son, how proud you talk about your daughter, how proud you talk about yourself and the situation that you are right now. I think, I think every kids, I think I think any struggle that they face, you've been a kid before, you've been a kid as well. Sometimes if having the support of our parents or each one of them, it's a big comfort because if you are struggle with something and about your sexuality, about something that you're not yourself, and if you cannot open up or get the support from the people who you trust, your parents, it can be really difficult. And of course out there's so many parents that they don't know how to support, they don't agree. For them it's difficult to take the not to understand for different reasons. Sometimes they don't even understand, sometimes not even their fault, it's just because they don't understand. And having as someone who literally embraced him and said, you know what, I'm here for you, and I'm sure he's living the best of his life right now, and knowing now that his dad is gay as well. So I think it's just something powerful. Question for you. You don't need to answer if you don't want to, but you always knew you were gay, or it just like through your years you kind of realized that?
I would say the latter. It's even kind of tough for me to kind of sort it out because, you know, when I was very young, like through grade school, middle school, high school, it was just girls, girls, girls. I was always in love with a girl. I was kissing a girl, getting in trouble. I married a girl in fifth grade, and it was just girls that didn't even think about guys at all. And then in college, I would say, and I met my ex-wife in college at 19. Um, that was where I was like, I don't know, I it's more like I want to be like that guy. But at the same time, it was in the 80s when AIDS was out, and I did like women. So it was very easy just to kind of, well, back then it's like you die if you get AIDS. So like, I'll just put that aside and I'll just make a choice. And I was happy and I fell in love. And I would say like the first 20 years were great. I didn't stray or anything. And, you know, it wasn't until like the last very end of our marriage where, you know, with all these problems that we were having, that I started. And by the way, I started knowing before that, you know, but I didn't act on it. Because that's when I sort of got into the gym, and then at the gym, you start looking at the other guys, and it's kind of turned into like, instead of I want to be like that guy, I was like, ooh, you know, I can be with that guy. And so it really kind of, I was a late bloomer with that. And I don't think that it just suddenly was there. I think it was there. It was just squashed down so much that it just wasn't even a possibility. So I just didn't go there. Plus, you're so busy with kids and work and family that you just don't even entertain it as a possibility at all.
Absolutely.
So once it was a possibility, then I took it to it like a duck with water. I mean, and I did, like, after the divorce, start like, well, I'm going to date men and women, and then I was like, why am I doing that? Like, I really prefer men. Like, that's just dumb to go down this road. So, I ended up meeting my husband online through an app, and took him out on a date, fed him steak, and I have to say, our first date, he was so authentic, which was important to me. I felt like he looked in my eyes and we spoke, and it was like I was the only thing there. And he had such an interesting story, and I could feel it coming from his heart. And, you know, I may look like a gruff guy or whatever, but I'm definitely a softy at heart. And, you know, connecting and feeling and understanding energy and who people are, like, our energy's really, really connected. That's really what it was. And I learned a lot even from him, because he was really my first real relationship. You know, I had gone out with guys or whatever, messed around, but I never really had like a boyfriend. So that was new, and I had already decided, like, I'm not ever going to get married again. But
There you
then
go.
you fall head over heels, and you're just like, I can't, like, boyfriend doesn't really do him justice. Like, he's my life partner, he's my soulmate. Like, so I did surprise him with the proposal. I wasn't sure if he was going to say yes, but he did.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thanks, well done for you. I think it's, I'm glad we're connecting during this time of your life, because, you know, you are living your true self, you know, a person
Yes.
who was, I think this, you know, Sarge was somewhere there that, again, you didn't explore because for so many reasons you just mentioned, you know what I mean? Busy, work, life, a lot of things. And now I'm sure, and you come across a very relaxed person as well, because you are being true, your truly self. And I think it's empowering. And, you know, actually, I just had an interview, I think yesterday, 2 days ago, with a lovely man as well. He was married, he got 2 kids, and, you know, exactly the same situation. And his interview goes live in a few days. And I will let you know for you
Check
to
that one
watch this.
out.
Yeah, you need to
Yeah.
watch it. I'm not gonna tell him about yours as well, because it's such is
Okay.
I think when you hear the stories from other people, it's amazing to see that you're not alone out there. I'm sure there's so many people maybe facing the same situation, or maybe they still in a place where they cannot be themselves, and see someone open, talking so open about it, so proud as well, sharing your story. I think in the end of the day, you are helping people, you are encouraging people to be themselves. I'm sure it's not easy, when we are outside, and but seeing other people talking and sharing, I think it comforts them and can see that they are not alone out there. And in the end of the day, Sarge, we are here, all of us, we are here to live a life our truly self. It doesn't matter how you are, it doesn't matter what you trust, what you believe, what your desires, your point of views, as long as you're not hurting people. If you want to be your truly self, that's it. That's it. Like your son is the same thing as well. He just wants to be himself. And I think the society out there, there are so many things that make us close ourselves for so many reasons. And when you can be your truly self, I think it's the best gift everyone can have, because from there, life just goes, you know what I mean? Better and better. So yeah, thanks for sharing. And I'm glad that you are living your best life right now. Amazing.
I do feel that I am, and I do feel happier and more free
Yeah,
and excited about the future.
amazing. Okay, next question for you is talking about kids. What do you think is a good age to start dating, and why?
Well, I honestly, I was dating girls in fifth, sixth, seventh grade, so I don't know. I think that's part of it. Like, you have these little crushes, and you go out to the movies, you go to the mall, and you know, I don't have any problem with that. Even as a dad, and you know, having a daughter, it was, I was definitely that dad that wanted to meet the guy and give him the side eye and make sure he took care of my girl. Um, but I would never have prevented her to like go to the mall with a boy or something at like 14 or something. But I would have prevented her from going to his house. That's for sure. And I did. So
I'm
no, I
sure.
guess it can be young if it's handled in the right way. It can be young.
I'm sure you met him with showing like the way you're dressing right now, showing your muscles. You know what I mean? The stuff, man. I'm sure he'll be very scared.
You're gonna see my daughter. Yeah. Well.
Next question. Hey, Sarge. Next question is, what is the biggest difference between you and your partner?
Biggest difference between me. He's calmer and is grounded and calms me down. And I'm a little bit more like high strung, type A personality, wanting to organize everything and have it be perfect. So I think we're a good balance in that way. And he's Native American, and so being grounded to the earth and just having kind of calmer demeanor is kind of more natural for him. And the when he gets stressed, he'll like meditate or pray to his ancestors and just get grounded and put his feet in the ground, or burn some sage. And so I was never around anything like that, but I really love that presence of and I'm really enjoying that to help ground me too. So we'll take our shoes off and take a walk in the grass or the sand and try to ground ourselves, and we'll take those moments to calm down and kind of look at life in the bigger picture and not get so caught up in the day-to-day minutia.
Amazing. And the biggest similarity?
I would say we both have that big heart that want to connect to people authentically and care, really truly care about others, you know, that we care about, and sometimes to a fault. So we're both very loving. Yeah.
I see. Very good.
Very affectionate, very loving. Yeah.
I can see him right now watch this interview and smiling with some beautiful words. Next question.
All right.
You are a good dancer, I can see. Next question is, which talent you wish you had?
Ooh, I know singing was the first thing that came to mind. I guess I'll stick with singing. There's so much, like, when it comes to the arts, you know, like painting and sculpting and dancing, you know, real dancing. You know, all those things I wish, you know, in singing, like, I wish I could have done all those things. I just wasn't. I was good at writing, like screenplays and that type of thing, but and seeing a vision for you know, like a movie, that was my mind. But no, I wish I could sing, because now I love music so much, and I can just sing in the car by myself. That's it.
Nowadays, what do you listen to the most nowadays?
You know, I've really adapted to a lot of my husband's music, and you know, before we had met, I was more of like a hard rock, you know, Five Finger Death Punch and Metallica, and you know, that was kind of, and I still love that. I went to a Five Finger Death Punch concert recently and got in the mosh pit. That was fun. But then I started going to EDM. Like, I went to EDC, I went to Ultra, started doing that, and really started enjoying like EDM music and started listening to that a lot. And then now with my husband, hearing his music, he's very into country music. And for the first time in my life, I've started really, I never liked country, but now I do. And so that's kind of the newest one.
Amazing. Okay. 3 questions left for you, Sarge. Let's do it. Next question is, who do you swap lives with for a day, if you could?
Lenny Kravitz.
Wow, good one.
You know, the singing, the musician, guitar, fucking rock star. He's such a cool dude. I wish I could be that cool. Yeah.
2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, you know, as you start your business this year, so far, through this journey, what's something that you've learned that you go like, okay, that's a lesson or something that you just learned since you start your business, something that you could share?
I've been able to let things go more and trust people. One, because I feel like I hired the right people, which in the past, when I had my business in my 20s, I didn't really hire the right people. So then I struggled with trying to delegate. But now I really think I've hired the right people, and I have been able to delegate to the point where I went away for a month. I mean, we launched in March and I was gone the whole month of September for our honeymoon. And they handled it all while I was gone. Like, just blows my mind. So, yeah, letting go, delegating, and trusting the people that can do it.
Wow, work with people that we can trust, and it's the best, you know, as you said, connection that you can have in the business, isn't it? You can tell that. For sure. Wow.
And it's rare. It's hard to find those people. It really is. I feel really fortunate. But everybody I'm working with, I've worked with in the past for several years to 15 years. And so I knew what they could bring to the table. And so versus just hiring somebody that you've never really met, which is what I did in my 20s. And based on that interview, you hire them. And, you know, usually doesn't work out so great.
I can see that you are a good boss.
I try.
Ready for the last question? Oh,
Yes.
actually, no. Actually, I asked about the business. Sorry, I'm confused now. Okay, I have two more questions. Okay. Next question for you is, good question. What's the best and the worst of being yourself?
Best and the worst of being myself. I would say I do care about people a lot. I'm a little bit more of a softy in that way, where I definitely will, give to people and not get, anything in return, or sometimes, it turns out kind of bad, if they take advantage of something or whatever. So the good is that I really do care about people, and I will help, and I will hear their sob story. But then, then on the same time, sometimes I get taken advantage of for that, and I'm trying to get better at that.
I see. Okay. Ready for the last one?
Yes.
Last question. Let's do it. Amazing. Before the last question, people watch the interview right now. Yeah, as you share about your life regarding, your sexuality, you're married for a few years. Tell me, maybe someone watched the interview right now. Maybe they still, let's say, in a life that you were before, married, or maybe they're in a place that they cannot be their truly self for different reasons. What would be your best piece of advice?
People often will say, "Oh, you're so brave," and I think of that as being the opposite. I think, no, brave would have been for me to speak up earlier and to face what I was stuffing away earlier, and not wait for my son, who was brave at 15, to come out and then be inspired by him. So, he's the brave one. So I guess I would say to somebody in that same situation is, to face that fear. You worry about what everyone's going to think, and you don't want to disappoint your partner, because you probably do love them and you don't want to hurt them. And so that was the hard part for me too. I didn't want to hurt her, but so my advice would be to face your fear, and try to do it nicely as much as you can, so you don't hurt those around you. But at the end of the day, you have to live your life. And even if you have kids, I had that as an excuse. Well, I don't want to damage my kids, and I was really worried about damaging my kids. Like, my daughter will never trust men if she found out or something. But they're pretty adaptable, and they'll be okay. Just love them and be you, and they'll probably respect you for that.
Amazing. Okay. Last question is, tell us about your guilty pleasure.
Vaping. Yeah, that's my guilty pleasure. I like it.
All right, I love your honesty. I love the way you just pick it up. That's it, in front of you. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay? One word for money.
Cash.
Family.
Love.
Fear.
Weakness.
Life.
Life. Oh, stressful.
One word for love.
Soulmate.
Sex.
Fun.
Politics.
Ugh. That's my word.
Religion.
Nah.
Friendship.
Loyalty.
Desire.
Cravings.
Regret.
Regret. Sad.
Success.
Powerful.
Wish.
Now, Wish was my daughter turned son's middle name. Wish. Wish is a dream.
Mm-hmm. One word for happiness.
Joy, and then name authenticity as well. Joy.
One word for California.
Diverse.
One word for USA.
Split.
And the last one now, if you could define your business in one word, what that would be?
One word. Truth.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your husband, your partner, for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, define Sarge in one positive word and one negative word only. What he would say?
I think he would say trustworthy, is a good word, and the bad side, he would say, it's hard to get it down to one word. What is the word? When you're all over the place. I'm all over the place.
Okay. Let's play now, Sarge and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it.
Okay.
I love it, and it fits very well because when you're moving, I could see the beautiful day behind you. My goodness, very lucky. Okay, you can ask me a question now.
Do you have any tattoos?
Wow, I love the question. My goodness, I don't have any tattoo, and I'll tell you something now. I love to see tattoos in other people. For example, I've been looking at a tattoo in your arm for the interview. I think people, they is a way of expressing themselves. I find very beautiful tattoos in people, but the older I get, I start considering now. Always being very, two reasons why I never had a tattoo. First of all, because I was scared to get tired of it. Yeah, like I would get tired of it. And the second reason of the pain as well. I think I couldn't hold the pain. But the older I get, I start considering now, and I will do it one point for sure. I just want to have something natural that comes to my mind, something that can connect with, something that's I will have, you know what I mean, for the first one, something I'll have it. So yeah, I don't have any tattoo, but I'm considering for sure.
I'm glad you're considering it.
Yes.
I didn't have any 2 years ago.
Really?
And now I've got all of this. I've got this, and then I've got a huge double-headed. I have a huge double-headed cobra going up my back.
Wow. And what the reason that came the idea to have a tattoo? Was just like, okay, I'm just gonna have it?
It's funny because I was living this like suburban corporate square world, and I secretly wanted a tattoo, but didn't really want, anyone really to know about it. And then my son is very much an artist and into tattoos, and since 10 years old, he's been asking me for a tattoo. And I remember we were on a plane traveling, and I said, "I'm going to tell you a secret." I said, "I want a tattoo." And then he started drawing ideas and concepts for me. And 5 years later, I did get a tattoo, and it was hard for me for 5 years to really know what I wanted, but then it just kind of became clear on what I wanted. And then once I did it, and by the way, there are things, you can do to reduce the pain. They have like numbing the cream and things like
Yep.
that. So the last tattoo that I got with the cobras on my back, it was my son. I told him he had to wait till he was 18, and just before his 18th birthday, he said he wanted to get a tattoo. I said, okay, great, I'm happy to do that. And he said, well, I want you to go with me. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go with you. And he's like, no, I want you to get a tattoo with me. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll get a tattoo with you. And I asked him what he's getting, and he told me he's getting a double-headed snake. And I asked him why, and he said it stands for him for transformation, which obviously he's transformed quite a lot. And I thought about it, and I thought, he's not the only one who's transformed. I've transformed a lot too. And so he drew and designed his, and his was more like the thinner snakes that are kind of like you see on the medical, and he put it here on his rib cage. Wow. And then I designed mine too. I didn't draw it, but I found images on the internet and pieced them together to multiple images to get what I wanted. And it kind of just goes up my spine, and then it goes up to the back of my traps there. The two heads, and one's a skeleton snake where it's shedded its skin off, which I kind of look at as my old life, and then the other's this badass cobra that's just like opened up, and it's my new life. And so we did that together, and it was a great memory.
Oh, amazing. My goodness, amazing. I love that. I love the connection, the openness, the ideas, it's just brilliant to see, a son and a dad having, their lives changing, and they're sharing a lot of moments that they're going to be for life. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Sarge, did you enjoy the interview?
Yes, it was fun. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Talk to you.
Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for being so sweet and so open as well. And again, I'm going to repeat, you have no idea, how many people can be helping just, with your life, sharing your, your moments, your struggles, your positivity, your happiness. I think, all of that people, they connect and they appreciate as well. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I would just say be true to yourself and be true to others. The challenge in living in LA is, this old adage that people in LA are fake. And, it's interesting because I was born and raised inside of LA, and I am not fake. But it's all the people that came from these other states to pursue their acting and dancing and modeling and musician careers who come here from other states that are fake. So I always laugh when they say the people in California are fake. No, it's the people that came from the other states, in my opinion. I worked in Hollywood 10 years, and a lot of those actors and actresses are, needy. And so with that is sometimes you don't get the truth from people. They put on fake airs and use people. And I 10 years in Hollywood, I saw that a lot, and that's why I wanted to leave it. So I guess, what's important to me is to live truthfully, my authentic self finally, and to be true and honest to people.
Amazing. Thanks again. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks. I know you are very busy, and you're very sweet since when I approached you on social media. And I think, connect with people. I think that's a pleasure of life, is connect with people, sharing story. So thanks so much. Interview, and you keep it okay. All the best for your son, for your daughter, for your husband, and for all your friends and people around you, and for your business as well. Okay, keep in touch.
Okay, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Bye bye.
Bye now.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first subscribe to our channel, and after that just go to our website www.williamandthemagicbox.com and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show, and I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.